Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Daniel.
And we're Two Tall Gingers. So,
hey.
Hi. Welcome back.
Good to see you guys.
It's another week.
It's another week. Now, I was thinking
everyone in between.
And everyone in between. I was thinking about this before we hit record, and we did not ever promise specifically that we were uploading a video every week.
No, we didn't.
That's our goal. That's what we're going to usually do, but, you know, last week we did it. Last week we did it, so...
We didn't.
Oops.
Yeah, well.
So now you get maybe a first part of a several-part series. But for now, as you've already seen from the title, we are talking about 14 gay terms from the gay world.
That's right. Gay terminology and what they mean.
Or what we think they mean, how we define them. And we've done a little bit of poking around about this. Like, we actually did a little bit of research.
I know.
Horrifying,
Man,
isn't it?
Oh.
Amazing. But why are there 14, Michael? How come there's not 15 or 10?
Well, because there's a shit ton of terminology. And we could be here hours if we tried to do everything.
We picked the ones we wanted.
That's right. Well, these, I think, the ones we chose for this week's video, I think, are some of the more popular, more common
pretty
terms
iconic
in the community. Yeah.
First of all, don't forget about leaving room for booze with the boys. I shouldn't show the label.
No,
I'm going to get in trouble.
Cheers to the queers.
Cheers to the queers. Who dares?
And you're having a seltzer,
I'm
right?
having a seltz, a nice little light spritzy sheltry.
And I'm having a vodka cran with soda.
Yes, he is. Lovely. A
little squirt lime.
Gotta have that squirt.
Gotta have that squirt.
Gotta have that squirt.
So, our first term...
We actually wrote them down. If you see us looking over here, I actually scrawled them down with my... Yeah,
we prepared this week.
So crazy. That's why, as you can see, we're recording it when it's dark out.
That's right. It's about 8 o'clock at night.
Ooh, girl.
On a Sunday night.
Girl, we have been getting ready all weekend. Maybe. That's not true.
Yeah, this probably won't even go out until tomorrow, so whatever.
Shh, don't spoil the magic. Everything goes out as soon as it's done.
Yeah, right. Okay.
No, a bunch of, as you know, many YouTube creators have commented about how that's not true.
No.
The first one is bear. Now, what is it to be a bear, Michael? How do you define?
So a bear is a gay man who is a certain build, a little bigger. Fat is not a right polite thing to say, but
not all bears are fat.
No,
but they're going to be bigger.
But bigger. They're like a bigger, huskier build guy, usually with quite a bit of body hair.
One assumes.
Usually they will have a beard or goatee,
probably
or mustache,
some facial hair. Yeah.
Yes.
A hair on the top of the head, yes, no, doesn't make as much difference in the definition.
But generally, a bigger built guy and hairy.
Like if The Rock was hairy, he would be a bear.
Yeah, be like a muscle bear,
I guess.
Yes.
But he's not hairy, so he's not.
No. But they're a whole community within the larger LGBT.
A large community. They have their own pride flag.
They have their own pride flag. They have their own events. They got all kinds of festivals for bears. There's Bear Week this and Bear Week that. All over the
Bear
country.
Week in P-Town certainly is a big. Yeah. That's one of the big weeks in P-Town in the summer, right after 4th of July week.
Mm-hmm.
So now, can there be bears that aren't hairy? No, I don't think so, right?
Well,
like a smooth Zac Efron chest-looking guy can be a bear?
Because, there is there's a subset of bears called pandas.
Oh.
Who are...
Look at this. I am learning myself. Do tell.
Who are bears who are Asians. They're called pandas.
I see.
Take it for what you will.
Yeah, don't be offensive.
No, but take it for what you will.
That is an offense. None of this is an offense.
No,
None of this is good, bad, or indifferent.
It's something they embrace it.
We should have led with this. These are like terms that are out there, and we neither embrace nor unembrace.
Well, no,
they're just
the
terminology.
People who own them embrace them.
We assume.
But pandas, So
that's interesting. So those would be smooth.
They are probably.
Bears, probably.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this: Asians are not known to be hairy people.
Not generally as hairy as.
And it's perfectly lovely and beautiful and fine. So yes, bears don't necessarily. It seems counterintuitive, but they don't necessarily have to be hairy.
And there's no sort of like that we're aware of. I don't think like you can't be too young to be a bear, right?
No.
Like we're gonna talk about some age-related and it's all just silly gay bullshit.
It's just the way we've learned to create these constructs and
these ways of defining ourselves,
of who we are, right?
And helpful or not,
how we fit into society and.
So how one finds like-minded folks of a different
right.
So then the next one on our list, somewhat related, is otter.
Otters, yes.
So what is an otter, you might ask? You might not know otters. Well, an otter is sort of a youngish, slimmer-ish.
Doesn't have to be young.
Well, it doesn't have to be young. An otter is a slimish sort of kind of thinnish almost.
But also
sort of
hairy.
Bear.
Yeah.
Right. So
if you think of an otter, the animal, they're very long and sleek creatures.
And hairy.
Yeah, and hairy, well, obviously,
Yeah.
So yes, so an otter would be like a leaner, thinner person who has a lot of body hair.
Yeah, now I'm thinking that what would have been really great is if we could have had a mainstream famous person example for each of these types. But I don't have a good mainstream example of a bear or an otter, actually. No. I don't see enough. I can name some porn stars for you, but that ain't going to help you if we're trying to demystify gay terms.
Exactly.
Like Rocco Steele is kind of a bear, even though he's not hairy, but he's a guy.
I mean, look, I'm 6'3" and 150 pounds, and I have body hair, so I would be classified as an otter.
Yeah.
If I don't think of myself in those terms, but if I was part of that community, I would definitely be classified as an otter.
Yeah, because you're not, you don't weigh enough either around your middle or because of your musculature to be a bear.
They're right.
Right.
Yes.
And then there's also the related term cub. That's number 3, Queen.
Yeah.
And so cub is a young bear.
A young bear, right.
So how old can you be and still be a cub?
I'm guessing 18 to 25.
Oh, even 25 and above, you would still be a bear.
I think so.
I guess we should ask some young bears that we know. Did you ever consider, or comment down below if you're watching. Let us know what you think.
Fall into these categories, or you identify with these categories.
Do or did.
Right? Then, let us know. Let's talk about it.
Where's the cutoff line between being a cub and a bear? Excuse me, that seltzer is tiny.
You're all right to your belchy place.
My goodness. It's going to be one of those videos, kids.
Oh, Lord.
Buckle in.
Yeah.
Shut up. But yeah, so a cub, also part of the whole bear, otter, hairy guy continuum.
Right.
But we're talking generally about, chest hair. I feel like otters, is this true? I've had a realization, but I'm not sure it's right.
Mm-hmm.
Bears are more likely to have facial hair than otters or cubs?
I don't think so.
Maybe not necessarily. Not necessarily. Mm-hmm. Most bears have facial hair?
Seems like a lot of them do.
I suppose.
Because that's part of the whole
look
and
mystique.
Look.
Right. Now, we were thinking that we should do top versus bottom, but we think most people know what that's all about. But what's funny to me about the whole business is that there's absolutely no way that you could guess, tell, or have a reasonable thought pattern about whether a bear, an otter, or a cub is a top or a bottom or a verse. Who knows?
You can't tell a person's preferred position.
You can't, but some people might look at most people who look bearish and figure they're
just tops automatically. Yeah, but that's not true.
Not true at all.
No.
Who knows? Could be anything. Could be even somebody that doesn't do much anal sex. Oops, foreshadowing. We might be talking about that later because it might be a term that you might not know.
That's right.
So then let's move on to the next one that's kind of related but also kind of not, which is Daddies. Daddy. No, we're not saying Zaddy, because even we don't know what a Zaddy is. But Daddy,
Daddies.
how do you define Daddy?
Daddy's just an older gay man who's, established in life, maybe financially secure.
Well, there is that aspect of daddydom.
Yes.
Now, here's the magical $24,000 question.
Yeah.
What do you mean by older? What's the age cutoff, Michael, for daddy? You tell me both, because I don't know either.
I mean, I don't know how younger gays view older gay. I mean, probably we would be considered daddies by a younger.
Probably.
I know it's depressing, girl, but
I don't know about depressing. I just don't feel like I'm daddy.
No, I don't. I mean, we're 40. We're 45, both of us.
If you hadn't figured it out yet, hi, we're 45.
I mean, no. I think I mentioned this in another video. I don't feel old enough to be considered a daddy.
No.
But the fact of the matter is, 20-somethings, I'm sure, look at us and think daddy.
I guess.
So
I just assume daddies have to be like 55 or more.
Well,
but maybe the daddy is about the age difference.
I would say 40 and over could be considered daddy. But again, not. I think it's a lot of how.
It's all
perspectives. How you perceive yourself. And
it's
how
all frame
others
of mind.
Perceive you, yes. And some older men really embrace the whole daddy.
Yes.
Persona.
Yes.
They really, that's part of who they are. They really get off on that. They love it.
They do. And the young men who are interested in that
idolize
are interested in that
yes,
too.
absolutely. So, there's a whole thing about younger men idolizing older men.
Being kept.
Which is great. I mean, it's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And, the whole sugar daddy.
Right.
Thing,
well, there's a whole different
which crosses over into straight culture, too.
Oh, sure. In other words, being financially taken care of as well. But there's all sorts of daddy.
Oh, yeah. Being a daddy doesn't necessarily mean keeping someone financially. No.
Not at all. Not for the gays, anyhow.
No.
You could just have a daddy or just see someone and be like,
it could just be a mentoring relationship, too.
Yep, for sure. Mentoring in the leather community or in any other type of community, too. Hey, by the way, comment down below what your ideas for our next videos are. Because, as I think we said before, you ever tried to make a YouTube video every week without a defined, format that's pushing you into something?
Or a staff or anything.
Or a staff or an editor. But just topic ideas are hard unless you have a recurring theme that you're always hitting on.
We want them to be interesting, at least as interesting as we can make them.
Yeah.
So, give us ideas, people.
Please help us out. So
daddy is just an older
gay.
An older gay man.
Just an older guy.
Yeah.
Now we come to a term, mask.
Mask, yeah. So there's a lot of
and we're not talking fucking COVID-19.
No, it's short from masculine.
Masculine, M-A-S-C, to be masked.
Very masked, yes. Very butch, very... Well, bears and daddies would be considered masked, probably. As opposed to femme.
As opposed to femme. Yeah. And so...
I'm sure there's femme bears, too, but...
I suppose. But, I mean, there's a whole layer of everything we get into about all that. And I'm sure it's been done on the internet before and will be done on the internet again.
I mean, if you ever...
Butch, femme, masked,
Have you ever been on any of the gay apps? We did a video about that last time. You'll see in certain profiles, it'll say mask for mask.
Right.
In other words, they don't want any femboys. They don't want any flouncy, flamboyant types at all.
Which is
just stupid.
Stupid.
But
although that said, everybody has what they're interested in and what they're not interested in.
That's true. Absolutely.
But so
no hate.
It's fine. We're in this weird middle ground now.
But
it does
seem problematic.
Seems problematic because it's no hate, everybody we appreciate.
And it's almost, I could see where it could even be considered almost anti-trans.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not what anybody should be all about.
No.
It's not really shouldn't be really a mask versus femme. It's I don't know, there's got to be better ways to get across what it is you're trying to say than to put that in your profile.
I don't know if manly's even better.
I don't know. Just look at the pictures that people send you and read their profiles and see what their interests are. And you'll get a good sense about whether you want to meet up with them for a coffee or a drink or something.
Exactly.
If someone's profile is all about like, oh, now I'm going to go down the wrong road again. But if they have a profile that has a lot to do with, let's say, certain types of music or art that are like the opposite of what you're interested in for whatever reason, none of anything to do with mask, femme, butch, not whatever. But if your interests don't match up in the profile and your sort of sexual roles or desires don't match up in the profile, don't bother. You don't have to say mask or femme or...
Yeah, because then I think femme is just as problematic as mask.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you are a more feminine man...
But, like, what does that even mean, though? Like,
I know.
Are you femme if you have a lisp? Or are you femme if you, like...
wear makeup and nail polish.
Wear some nail polish?
Right.
Like, but then again, we're too old to comment on some of this, too, because we see an amazingly interesting set of developments amongst all those of you that are the young gays, which is really cool.
Oh,
that is, like...
Absolutely. Braver than I would
y'all
ever
are braver than I would ever.
Oh, my God. In my
y'all
20s, I never would have done that.
All the boundaries about, like...
Yeah.
I'll wear lipstick and leather pants and a harness and high heels. And so
it's great.
It's great to us, a little bit confusing, I think, because we're a little more boxed in by more traditional, more old school, maybe you might call it, definitions of all this crap.
Yes.
But so mask we included because it's a term that's sort of a touchstone at the moment, and it's kind of a term that should really probably go away.
By the wayside,
We don't need mask and femme and all that. We need like to look at people as people.
Exactly.
But it's a term that's out there, especially on the apps.
I mean, embrace who you are, what you are, and so forth. But but I feel like these terms, it's not the same as like gay, bi, trans, that serve a real purpose.
Right.
I feel like they are just. I think they create more problems than anything else.
So it's out there a lot. We're thinking it should be put to bed. Sashay away.
You don't get to stay.
Next term on our list is chaser. And you seem to not be as familiar with that.
I have a vague idea of what it means, but...
Well, I know of it in two different ways, and there's a reason I put it here in the list. So, like, there's a bunch of people who are sort of... I've heard it referred to as sort of chub chasers, or people who are after a... Obviously, a chaser is a person who's after a specific type. Right. And I've heard it a lot for chub chaser. Or also, like, people can be sort of chasers of bears and cubs and all sorts of people in that community. Otters, whomever.
Trans people get chasers a lot.
I guess. Too. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. And there's also this other, like, we didn't say that all these terms are great or that they're all wonderful.
Some of them are quite
There's
crude.
There's this whole other aspect of chaser that this young man was unaware of until we were talking about it earlier today or yesterday. A person can be a chaser who is chasing a bug chaser, so-called. Now, if you're an old enough gay male...
Yeah, this was totally new to me.
And you've been sort of looking around enough, you may know that term. But for a time, and maybe still now, there are people who are actively looking to have non-protected sexual relations with an HIV-positive man. So they sort of want to try to become infected with HIV. Bug chasers.
Bug chasers.
Bug chasing. Bug chasing is a thing that was a whole big discussion point here maybe, 10-something years ago, because a bunch of people, including in the infectious disease community, that was a bunch of bullshit, that didn't exist. And as a person who has been HIV positive for quite a while now, oops, I officially said it on the channel, don't know if you knew, I can testify very vehemently to the fact that it is not bullshit. There are people in the pos chaser community. Not very many of them.
No.
And for almost anyone who comes across it, you might think, those people have something seriously wrong with them.
Yeah.
However, some would counter with an argument that since we're in an age now where HIV is very manageable, you might as well just get it and then get the drugs and then not have to worry about it. And that seems a very ridiculous argument to me.
Yeah.
Manageable with drugs or not, it is a serious health condition that is not that fun.
No.
So nobody should be on the lookout to get it. But
Absolutely.
and it's probably considerably more difficult to do being if you are a pause chaser, it's probably considerably more difficult right now because many people are on PrEP.
Exactly.
It's probably at least in the United States,
right?
Or developed world countries, whatever.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot harder to be a chaser, but I can tell you that it is absolutely not true that there are 0 people that have ever done that.
Mm.
There are people who have done. So that's another term for chasers. So here's the thing, like, the whole concept and notion of chaser is has a little bit of desperation in it to begin with. No matter how you look at it or what you're talking about exactly. So I just say, no matter who you are, like, just don't be a chaser. Just put yourself out there as yourself.
Try to be more open to other types.
Be open to the people that are out there.
Right.
If you have a type, you have a type, and you'll find it.
I mean, chaser's almost, I think stalker. You know, I get the
exactly.
That's something that comes to mind.
That's what I say.
Stalker.
That's what I mean.
Like, you're only into this one sort, and you've got to have them.
That's right.
And no one else is good enough, and that's your, and you're so laser focused on this one type of person, and it's almost like a neuroses,
Right. It's almost crazy.
It's kind of unhealthy.
It's kind of unhealthy.
Very unhealthy.
Occasionally on some different online forums or apps or something, somebody will be like, oh, well, who shows up at this bathhouse or at this cruising place? And I was watching a whole bunch of banter about it one time, and I just couldn't help myself. This is years ago now. And I was like, look, if you're going to go to a in-person, like, bathhouse or hookup spot or whatever, and you think that everyone that's going to be there is like a ripped muscle stud with a 9-inch dick who's between
not happening.
24 and 32 and no body hair. That is not what happens there, right?
There may be one or two.
There might be one there.
But that's not going to be the majority of the people.
That's going to be all over the place.
Yeah,
There's going to be fat people and old people and whatever, and tall people and skinny people and gorgeous people and people with class on.
Race and color and everything else. Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Just go and see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So the whole notion of chasing is like, pigeonholes far too much, I should say.
Exactly.
So moving on to talking about pigeonhole things, one of the ultimate gay boy words, twink. Now, we were discussing this earlier. What do we think the age cutoff to be a twink is?
I would say 18 to 30.
30, yeah. I think if you're over 30, I'm not sure if you can be a twink. There are a few people maybe who can pull it off, but these are
like 31, 32.
33, maybe. But you're pushing it.
Hard few
You're
between.
pushing it, yeah. Because a twink is a young, hairless, like, just out gay boy, like, skinny, like... Yeah.
Maybe a little muscle, but...
Maybe a little muscle,
but not like a gym.
Like, think, like, for example, an example that I think is probably a favorite for a lot of gays is Zac Efron, like, at the beginning of Zac Efron being Zac Efron.
Right, or Justin Bieber.
Kind of a twink. Or Bieber before all the tats.
Yeah.
Like, or some of the One Direction kids, maybe, before they got a bunch of tats and a bunch more style.
Yeah.
Like, they're just, like, young, sort of innocent appearing. Right. If you're familiar with the gay porn company, Bellamy, those are all twinks, all twinks. Eastern European twinks.
Well, that's what, it's twink porn. That's
right.
what that's their brand.
That's a little subgenre of gay porn, is like, hairless, right?
Hung,
absolutely hairless,
well-defined,
huge, hung, well-defined European boys fucking each other.
Perfect tans.
Perfect tans.
Yeah.
Right. But there is definitely some sort of an upper age cutoff, and it's somewhere near there. Now, a related term is twunk, which you said you hadn't heard much about.
I've heard. I'm not sure.
Twink, twank, twunk, but twank isn't a word because I don't know what that means. Twunks are twinks that are a little more muscular. So, like, Zac Efron after
Now.
a while. Like, Zac Efron in Baywatch, maybe he's a twonk.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to Zac Efron initially is, like,
Yes.
Twinkie Zac Efron. So, like...
Troye Sivan be a twink.
That's right, yeah, exactly.
You know who that is.
Though I don't know what age
I don't know how old he is
getting.
now. But...
So, now here's the question. Twinks that don't muscle up and become twunky and that don't let their hair go in if they have any, I couldn't ever do it. I was never a twink. I was never skinny enough or muscular enough. But I never had chest hair, so it never would have grown in so that I was an otter. So once I got to be 32 or 33 as a tall, sort of lanky-ish, like neither fit nor unfit, not hairy dude that was never a twink, and I'm certainly not a twunk, what was I?
Where do you fit in?
I was just a dude. Just a white guy. But a twunk is a twink that got bigger.
A little muscular.
It's like a hunky twink. That's the word. Twink, honk, twunk. It's a
see.
portmanteau word.
Oh, look at you, girl.
Ooh, port.
Work.
It's a word from a port and a rain jacket. Portmanteau. No, that's a blonde manteau. Wait, oh, never mind.
Anyway.
Moving
right along.
Moving right along to the one that you have to talk about, which is number 9. I've heard it, but he brought it up.
And yes, and it is Rice Queen. So, if you don't know what a Rice Queen is, it's sort of in the same realm as a chaser,
kind
in
of
a way.
Pigeonholing.
But it is generally a white gay man who has a major attraction to Asian men.
Mm-hmm.
I always we could even call it maybe even a fetish for Asian.
Yeah, maybe. And I always thought that a Rice Queen had to be older and the Asian was younger, but maybe not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
No, I think it's pretty much any gay, generally white, who is just really into Asian guys.
Yeah, I haven't heard the term apply to any guy that wasn't white.
Yeah.
If you were a black guy that was into Asian guys,
I've also heard it referred to as a rice steamer.
Oh, girl, that sounds even worse. That sounds like, that doesn't sound like a term for people. That sounds like a bad sexual position.
As we said, some of these terms are crude.
Not the best.
A little crude on the crude side. These are not our made up words. These have been around for a while.
They've been around, and you'll hear them. So we wanted to define them.
And might as well talk about them.
Yeah, I think Rice Queen maybe is one of those ones that is or is soon to be canceled. Yes. I'm not sure that's one we're allowed to talk about with people anymore.
Well, we're talking about it here, so
yeah.
It's now, educational, people.
Does a Rice Queen could they? This is like just hypothetically, theoretically.
Yeah,
is a Rice Queen only into Chinese, or is it any?
No, I think it's any Asians.
Any Asians, including Southeast Asian and like
Asians.
India.
Oh, like
India's in Asia.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
I don't know.
We
were talking about this earlier, though. It's a little funny to us that there's only a term for that. Like, why shouldn't there be a term for
other ethnicities?
Yeah,
I know.
Like, and maybe there are, and we don't know them, and they're probably worse. And we're going down a slippery slope. But like, it struck us funny that it's a pretty well-known term within the gay community. The term Rice Queen.
Yeah.
For white guys into Asian guys that are super into Asian guys.
Right.
But, like, how come there's not a term for Indian guys that are super into guys from the Caribbean?
Right.
Now, I don't know. Like, maybe there are all these terms. They're just not as common.
Could be. If you know
of any of
down
them,
below.
Write them down below, or maybe just send it to us in some other format. I don't know. I just worry that we're on a slippery slope to being in trouble. But it's a term, and we've defined it.
Exactly, and we're not being monetized anyway, so...
We hardly even have subscribers. Listen, click the bell, motherfucker.
Exactly. If you like this video, if you've watched other of our videos and have liked them, please do remember to subscribe.
Click like,
leave us comments and questions down below.
Please.
We thank everyone who has watched our videos. We see that people are watching.
Yes. Thank you.
However, those numbers and the numbers of subscribers are not really matching up.
Same, girl.
So please do subscribe. If you like this video, share it. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future. That would help us out.
Are we stopping already? Or
No.
are we continuing on?
We're continuing on.
Sounded like you were doing the end, girl.
No. I'm just giving us a plug.
Just giving the plug. The hair plug.
The butt plug. No.
Oh, girl. Butt plug.
We'll talk about those in another video.
We need a whole video about sex toys.
Why not?
Sponsor. Come
Hey,
on.
who knows? Add a mail. Let's talk.
Exactly. Next is another two-word term that is maybe a little pejorative, but it's not really meant to be.
It's been around forever.
Forever. And that is
Fag
hag, which is a usually straight woman. Can lesbians be fag hags?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's a straight woman who hangs around with the gays all the time.
Yes. She just really loves being around the gay boys and has lots of gay friends
with
and
gays.
Goes to all the gay clubs and will escort you to Pride and bail you out of jail if it happens and all that kind of good stuff.
But she's very straight.
Oh, yeah. These are straight women.
Yeah.
Straight women.
So all of us are thankfully enough to know some.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. But then I wonder, too, are all straight women with gay friends considered fag hags?
No.
So how do we definitively define a fag hag?
Like, if you're a straight woman and you have a gay friend, you're not a fag.
You're not a fag, no.
If you're a straight woman and you have a bunch of gay friends and you, like, would go to a gay bar with them, at least when you're in your 20s or 30s, or, like, you would go out to dinner with just 3 gays and you.
Right. Like all, yeah.
And then maybe go to the club afterwards and pop your pussy with your gay friends.
With your gay friends.
You are a fag.
Yeah. I think if most of your social life is involved within the gay community and you're a straight woman,
you're a fag.
You're a fag hag.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not a pejorative term.
No.
Like, it's kind of a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Gays love all of our fag hags.
Absolutely.
And even though it uses
and all our straight girlfriends who aren't fag hags.
Correct. And even though it uses the word fag in it, which is obviously not what we're supposed to be saying.
Yes, but
we've reclaimed ownership of the word.
Well, here's another thing. The whole word fag and faggot and so forth. They've been used and corrupted by the straight community, the narrow-minded straight community, which not all of you are, obviously, we know that. But for the bigots out there who have corrupted those words, no more. Okay, we've brought them back. They belong to us.
Owns it now.
Hey, you yell faggot at me out of your car window.
I'm gonna go, yes!
Like, thank you, Captain Obvious.
3 snaps and a Z.
Exactly.
Hi, John.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
And we're flawless.
Yeah, like, what's your point? Yes, I am. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot. It's like yelling cocksucker. It's like, thank you so much for pointing out the obvious, because yes, I am. I'm
like, yeah, where we meeting?
Exactly. These terms, they've too long been used as derogatory slurs against us, and no more. No more. They belong to us. If you are yelling them at us in a horrific way, you have to know that you have no power in these words anymore.
Yeah, all I'm going to do is laugh.
Exactly, because you're just pointing out facts.
Yeah. No kidding.
It's like yelling at me, the sky is blue.
Or it's like yelling at straight people, the next one on our list. Breeder.
Yes. Now that one is also something
that one is apparently offensive.
Well, it's something straights use as derogatory against heterosexuals, generally speaking.
Well, the gays use it as derogatory against heterosexuals.
Did I just say straights?
You did.
I'm so sorry.
An interesting one that I only came across recently.
We just learned it.
And next on the list is a term we just learned about recently. I didn't know it.
From YouTube.
From YouTube. And that is the term side.
So a side is basically someone who is not into penetrative sex at all. Either giving or receiving.
Right.
They rather.
How about that?
I know.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
They prefer all the other ways of getting off and being sexual with another person without being.
You may find this hard to believe, but I have heard that there are straights, both men and women, who don't like anal sex.
I didn't think straights liked that at all.
Some do.
Do they? Oh. Okay.
But so what that means is that really what we're trying to say is that in the world, there are people that don't like anal sex.
Exactly.
And if such people are gay men, those are called sides.
Sides, yes.
Because they neither want to
nor a bottom.
Correct.
They're a side.
They do not want to give or receive anal intercourse.
Yes.
So they enjoy all the other ways that two men can enjoy time with each other.
Exactly. And if you identify as a side, let us know down below and give us a little more insight into it because it's new to us.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know,
I hadn't really thought about it.
It's quite fascinating, actually.
I mean,
because I think, and especially with the straight community, I think they all just figured that we're just into the whole butt sex.
Oh yeah, because that's the only option.
Right, right. And so...
yeah, well, what do you think lesbians do? They don't have a thing to insert in a thing.
Yeah, they use strap-ons. They're called a strap-on.
I know, but for gays, there's dildos, and for straights, too. Like, all of these things are possible in all sorts of combinations in all of these different sexual expressions.
But if you're out there and you're straight and you didn't realize that gay men could not be into anal sex, it's true.
It's true.
There are gay men who are not into fucking.
Right.
And they're called sides.
Now, the more you know.
The more you know.
And so we're going to close it out now with number 14 on our list of 14.
And it's probably one that a lot of you have heard, especially if you are a drag
race aficionado.
Yes.
It is work,
bitch. With an E.
Work with an E. You better work, bitch.
You better work.
You better work.
Work it.
Work, which does not mean your job or what you do to earn money.
No,
it means you just have to turn it on and work
it. Yes.
If you could have seen
if we had fans, we'd be snapping them right now.
Yeah, but
work.
That kind of annoys us, to be honest.
It does.
But if you saw him 10 minutes before we started shooting, having a nice almost nap on the couch, I needed to say to him, "You better work, bitch.
You better work.
You better work."
I just wasn't feeling it tonight.
I know, but you're feeling it now.
I am.
Made a nice video.
I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad we did it.
We figured we had to end with a nice uplifting term like work. And you know it from Brittany and RuPaul and everybody else.
We don't have to define it because you know it. But it's a fun thing to insert.
And it is gay.
It is very gay.
So
we
now
thank,
you know.
and we thank the drag community for giving us this awesome term.
Yeah, and I have said this to you privately before, and I didn't think we were going to say this on the video. But like, we're talking about the word work. Let's consider who in our lifetimes has had a bigger impact on a whole area of the gay experience than RuPaul.
Oh, RuPaul. Oh my God.
I know there's good, bads, and difference about RuPaul. And people love and people don't love.
Absolutely.
But like, if you look at where drag performance was before RuPaul got any sort of big.
That's right.
And where it was once she was somewhat big. And then even now coming back with the most recent incarnation of the show. Like, what an amazing force of nature in the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. I mean, we all owe her a great debt of gratitude.
Whether you love drag or not, Queen, there is so much more ability for self-expression because of Ms. RuPaul Charles.
Yes.
Isn't that her last name?
Yeah, it is. Good.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you so much
This is probably too long.
That's all right.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
We love you.
Thanks for coming back for another week.
Yes.
And then once again, please subscribe, like, and share. And leave us comments and questions down below.
Yeah.
And you all take care.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week.
Yeah. So work.
Bye.
Bye.